Welcome everyone. Today I am going to hook up the Agri 44-inch yard sweeper to our new Cub Cadet ZTX4 for the first time, and I'm going to go over some of the initial adjustments I want to make to this unit before I actually put this thing to work. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope some of this information helps you, and if you're using the yard sweeper, I'll tell you what, it saves a lot of raking and a lot of back work, doesn't it? Let's get on with the video and I hope you enjoy it. The first adjustment I want to look at here is my tongue height for the yard sweeper. Now, AgriFab does suggest that you keep your tongue of the yard sweeper as level as you can, and this is actually inside the bubble here. But you can see I'm setting up on top of the frame. I have my two spacers placed in between the pin, and it would tow this line. There would not be a problem here. But if you look back here at the back of the basket, I'm going to try to get around here where you can see me. Having this unit level, I'm only about 2.5 inches off of the concrete floor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this tongue height and see if I can bring the basket up off of the working surface. Because if you think about it, if you would drag this thing across your yard lap after lap after lap, you're going to wear the basket out. So what I'm going to do, just simply pull the pin out. I'm going to look at it about right here. Place my spacers back in. And we will see if this has brought the back of the bag up. Now, I have to be careful. Make sure our pin's in. I don't want to get the nose of this too low either, because I don't want to be tearing up the yard or doing damage to the sweeper. But that has raised us up significantly here in the back. So now this brings us up to around, it looks like about 5.5 inches of clearance or so. And I still have clearance in front for the sweeper, so that's going to work. Now this does not affect our broom height. Now if you are new to the AgriFab, this is the way we adjust the brooms. It's going to be hard to see on the camera, but it is marked from 1 to 6 as far as inches of travel for your broom. And then it has a tow feature, so you can bring this all the way up. That simply lifts the brooms all the way to the top, and that'll keep you from sweeping up things you don't want to sweep up until you get to where you're actually working. Let me get this guy in here. And that's where we're going to stay for right now. And again, I did make a mark on here to know 1/2 inch off of this concrete floor, so when I get out in the yard working, that'll give me a reference point to start at. So by just tilting this down the hill just a little bit, again, we're going to protect the basket. It's going to last a lot longer. Since this is the first time we will be trying this on this unit, I do have a little bit more obstruction as far as the lawnmower is concerned, but I should be able to turn the machine and reach the handle in order to dump the basket. But if not, I'm simply going to put a rope and replace the handle, tie the rope off here on the side of the machine, and that will give me access to dumping the basket without having to get off the lawnmower each time. Now I have the handle removed, and I've got the rope installed, and actually that worked really good with a carabiner clipped right to the side of the rollover rail. And if this is your introduction to AgriFab, we've had this thing for 4 years. Nice construction on this piece of yard equipment. And again, steel gear that drives the axle for your brooms that sweep, and really easy to dump. You're going to enjoy it. It's going to make your yard work a lot easier for you. Now the only other thing on the AgriFab that you have to worry about as far as general maintenance, the manual does suggest once a year that you remove your hubcap, and there's a bolt that holds the wheel in place. Remove the bolt, take the wheel off, and then that gives you access to, there's a steel gear that runs the axle in here to run the brooms for you. This thing's well made, so it shouldn't give you any trouble. But anyway, lubricate the gear with some grease, install the wheel, and then really that's all you have to do. And then other than that, general maintenance, keeping it clean, that's entirely up to you. Another nice thing about this unit, if you want to store this in your garage, you can take the tongue off, you can remove the basket, and the basket comes out of here real easy. Let's do this real quick. You just simply unclip the springs here, and this basket slides off and folds up. Now if you need further removal of these, you can pop these two pins out, and now you can stand this whole unit up on its end and simply take up about 48 inches or so of your garage space and have every bit of this folded up. But that gets us leveled up with the mower well now. And by the way, if you needed to offset the sweeper to the mower, you can slide the tongue over to either direction. Just simply loosen these two bolts up and shift this to where you can pull to whatever you need to. Again, just extremely handy. Now, one other thing to mention before we get started is AgriFab says that 6 miles an hour is maximum speed for the yard sweeper, and this lawnmower is capable of running faster than that. So I'm going to have to slow down a little bit, towing this piece of equipment behind the mower. That way we don't break the axles or anything like that. And I've got a spot back here by the pond today. We're going to rake up some leaves that I want to plant some grass by. So let's see how we're going to do. Now, we had a rain overnight. The stuff's going to be wet and it should be less dusty. Should be a good thing for us. Let's get started. Now, this is the area we're going to clean up today. And I'm going to get all this leaves and sticks and things like that swept up. Because like I said, I want to plant some grass here. The pond just being right over here to the right of you. I want to continue our grass line out amongst all these nice, beautiful trees here. Let's see how the AgriFab is going to do for us and put it to work. I started off at 4.5 inches here. I'm going to go ahead and set this down to 4 now. Actually, I'll drop it down to 3. And this is a great challenge for this. This stuff's wet, and we're already halfway full on our basket. It does not take long. Let's keep sweeping it up and see how that does. Now, the golden rule here is you never want to set your brushes down so far that your wheels are sliding. Take long to fill the basket up. We're going to take that right over here. I've got a low spot. We're going to dump these out. these two pieces of equipment complement each other. The Agri done a fantastic job with wet leaves. The last lap around, I did go ahead and turn the mower deck on and start mulching some of this up a little bit, but it's more than enough to what I need to plant the grass seed. So I'm happy with the results. We swept up 5 loads in an area that's less than 1,000 square feet. So that took this right down to dirt. And you can see, I mean, this area is covered in trees. So leaves back here is not hard to find. This thing done a fantastic job, and I'm really impressed the way this thing towed it around. Now, I am going to go back to the handle. I don't care for the rope, so I'm going to have to extend the handle to fit this mower. But other than that, it worked just like I'd hoped it to. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.